I honestly had no idea that there were playgrounds in Paris because when I was there, I was not having kids. So I didn't know there were any playgrounds, but there are. Thanks to you, I found some of them.
Hi, and welcome to Motherhood Around the World, a podcast that celebrates mums everywhere and dives into the nuance of parenting in different countries. This week, I spoke with Annemette from Denmark. She spent time living in Copenhagen, but after having children, moved back to the village where she grew up, where she now lives with her two boys, aged 3 and 8, and works as a vet. I'd been looking forward to this conversation for a while, so it was nice to finally get the chance to chat. Thanks so much for joining me. It's so nice to get on Zoom with you.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice meeting you in person-ish.
Close enough. So you were living in Copenhagen, but you've recently moved back to the village where you grew up. What's it like there?
It's a small provincial town, I guess. We're 8,000 people, maybe 10,000, that area. And it's far away from Copenhagen. Denmark is not a big country. We're quite small. So it's 4 hours in drive, and that's a long way here. So it's small. Everybody knows everyone. The kids can run to each other without us worrying. Everybody will keep an eye on the kids they see. And yeah, so it's nice being somewhere where you can relax a little bit more. I love Copenhagen, but having small kids there and bigger kids is more challenging, I think. And it's extremely expensive to live there. So we decided we wanted to go back to where our parents live and have a house, a garden. My in-laws live 600 meters that way, and my mom and dad live just 10 minutes that way. So it's in the middle of everyone.
Oh, wow. So you're really close to family.
Yeah. And that's nice.
And are you still close with all your sort of school friends that you grew up with there as well? Or do you find some people have moved away?
Most people have moved away from our school. So we have to start over, and that we moved during COVID. So it was it's hard to get to know people because everybody was staying with the people they know, but we're getting there.
Yeah, because they're Danish people it takes a minute to become friends, but then once you're friends, you're quite solid friends forever.
Yeah. So it's not easy to get, I think, well, the Australian people I know, American people are very easy to talk to, and it's easy to get to know people, but we're not like that.
You live close by with your family. Do they help out with the kids?
Yes, a lot. Actually, I'm a vet, and my mom is a vet as well, so I work at her clinic. So when we try to cover for each other. So if there's a sick child or anything, I will call her and say, Mom, it's bad again. He's sick. We have to do something, and we will move everything around and make it work. So that's really nice, because they get sick.
Yep, all the time.
All the time.
Tell me a little bit about your journey to pregnancy.
It was really easy with the first one. He wasn't planned. It was a happy accident. And I didn't know I wanted kids. I thought I didn't want kids. And then suddenly I was pregnant and I was like, okay, we're having kids. So that was really easy. Then I had a miscarriage between the two boys. And then shortly after I was pregnant with the second one. So everything went smoothly and no help, nothing. It was just the natural way.
If you don't mind me asking, did you feel you got good healthcare support for your miscarriage?
Yes, very much. Both from the hospital and from my own doctor, they were really supportive. And afterwards, when I was pregnant with the second one, I was very scared because it could happen again. And everybody was very supportive. So that was really nice. I think I have, with both pregnancies, all 3 pregnancies, I've had really good help, I think.
You didn't need any fertility support, but what fertility support is available in Denmark?
I'm not 100% sure because I only have one friend who has needed it, but I think can't remember how many times you have free help, but you do have some kind of free help.
How were you supported during your pregnancy and your birth? What is it, midwife-led care over there or obstetrician-led care?
It's a bit of both. In my first pregnancy, I was on some medication, so I was on extra checkups. So I both had to go to the hospital and then to my own doctor and then a midwife. I was designated a special midwife to take care of me. Unfortunately, that wasn't the one who was there when I was giving birth, but she was nice anyway. The birth is midwife, unless there's a problem. Most people in Denmark are giving birth in the hospital, but you can do it at home and then have midwife coming to your place. But I don't know how that works.
And were you in Copenhagen?
I was in Copenhagen with both. Yeah.
Okay, so slightly bigger system. If you were in your village now, is there pregnancy support there, or would you have to drive to a nearby village?
I think I had to drive, but it's only 20 minutes to the nearest hospital. So it's sort of the same thing as in Copenhagen. It's just through the countryside, except in Copenhagen, it's through
the city. Yeah. Did you make any new friends while you were pregnant?
Not while I was pregnant, no. It was a big thing becoming pregnant. And I had a lot of friends who had babies when I was pregnant, so I was using them instead. I didn't have, I don't know, space in my head for more people.
Yeah, to make new connections.
Yeah, I could manage. It was fine. I had plenty of friends that I could call.
Perfect. As long as you were happy. What was your experience like in the first few weeks after childbirth? Did you go straight home? Did you go and stay with family?
I had to stay in the hospital for 2 nights. When you get your first child, you will always be offered to stay in the hospital. But I had to because they had to check that he wasn't affected by the medicine I was on. But my parents came, well, almost while I was giving birth and were ready to help with everything, take care of the dog and the cat and all that sorts of things. So I had to stay in the hospital, and my husband we had a room together in the hospital. With my second, we went home straight away. Everything went smooth, and it was, I really wanted to go home. Also because I wanted to go home to my oldest, so he could see his little brother.
Being in hospital with the second one was much more difficult than the first one because you want to get home to.
And if everything goes uncomplicated, you get to go home, and then you will get a call from a midwife the day or 2 after, I think, and then a visit from what do you call that? Some kind of special nurse.
We just get a midwife visit.
Yeah, there will be what? I wonder, hang on, I'll just Google it.
Yeah.
Because we get that. It's a special nurse. I'll see.
But they don't come and stay with you. They just come and check on you.
They come and check on you. And then you have the possibility of calling the hospital 24/7. You will get a direct line for the place.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's some sort of health nurse. You will get this health nurse visit, and she will come and visit you when the baby is, I can't remember, 5 days and 1 month and 3 months and 6 months, something like that.
So quite solid aftercare.
Yeah, I think it's fine. You don't have to have the visits. If you don't like the nurse or anything, you can just say no, thank you. But they also check how their sight is and if they can hear. And within the first year, they follow the kid more or less close to see if everything is going normal.
That's good. We usually have a pediatrician appointment every month for the first year. Yeah, it's a lot, especially when you have a winter baby and you have to bundle them up and take them outside into a pediatrician's office with all the other sick kids.
Oh,
your kid isn't sick every month.
Oh, especially with the first one. Just getting out of the door is just horrible.
Yes, you get them dressed, you feed them, you put them in the baby carrier, they poo, you take them out of the baby carrier, you get them dressed again, you feed them again, you finally get them to sleep, and then you're late for whatever.
And then when they finally fall asleep, you have your appointment, so you have to wake them up and they start screaming. It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. How much did it cost? Was it covered by healthcare?
Nothing.
0.
We pay everything throughout taxes. I think Denmark is quite well known for having high taxes, but, well, at least you don't have to pay. I think my husband had to pay for food while he was in the hospital, because I got proper food and then he could buy a ticket and get the same food.
That's
I don't remember how much that was, but it was very reasonable priced. But apart from that, everything is free. If you want extra ultrasounds or anything, you will have to pay for that. But you will get 2 ultrasounds for free. One when you're 12 weeks pregnant and one when you're 22 weeks pregnant, I think, where they check all the organs and see everything is all right. If there is reason for concern, they will, of course, give you more ultrasounds. But I had an ultrasound when I was 6 weeks pregnant with the second one because I needed to see the baby was alive.
Yeah.
So I paid for that. But apart from that, you get, well, all you need are
Yeah.
covered.
I had assumed that it would be quite good over there, but I needed to confirm. Did you find it easy or hard to choose names? Did you go for quite Danish names?
No, we chose names that a lot of Danes are called, but is usable in the rest of, especially the English speaking world, because my name is horrible. No one can pronounce it.
Can you pronounce your name for us, please, so everyone can understand it without me absolutely butchering it?
I'm called Annemette.
Annemette.
Yeah, very good.
What is the parental leave situation there? How much time did you get off? How much time did your husband get off?
There are two ways to have your parental leave. There is the one that the government pays, and then there is what you can get through your contract. Everybody, no matter if you're unemployed or whatever, will get, I think it's 24 weeks for the mom and then 24 weeks for the co-parent. And then the 11 weeks are for the dad or the co-parent. You cannot transfer that, but the 10 weeks you can transfer. So you can have almost a year off together. And then a lot of us in our contracts, we have the first part is on full pay. But if you don't have that in your contract, the government will pay you around, how many euros is that? Little short of 3,000 euros per month.
So that's a real livable wage.
It is, yeah. It is. It's fine. It depends on if you're working part-time, you will get a little less. But if you work full-time, you will get, I mean, my contract had 25 weeks on full pay. So I took that. And then he had 8 weeks, I think, on full pay. And then we just shuffled a little around.
Yeah.
But almost a year. But both our kids started daycare when they were around 10, 11 months because, well, that was what fitted us best. You can also keep some of your maternity, paternity leave and then use it later on if you plan it with your workplace until the kid is 10, 12 years old, I think.
Okay, in case you want to take a bigger holiday or family time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also do part-time. We did that for the last few months because I was only working 3 days a week, and then my husband had 3 days off, and then he worked 2 days, so we could just extend it as long as we needed. So I think we're quite lucky.
Yeah. And I assume everybody takes the maternity or the paternity pay. No one sort of is going back to work after 6 weeks.
No, I've never heard of it. Well, some people that are self-employed might do it because if they have a one person
company, yeah.
It's very hard for a one person company to survive a year without anything.
Yeah.
So they do, and they will bring them to everything. But most people will take almost a year. I was talking to someone at the kindergarten, and she said usually they get the kids when they're around 10, 11 months. That's the norm. They go to daycare.
Once you were ready to return to work, what were your childcare options? Is it affordable? Is there any stigma? Does anyone judge you for your choices?
No, I think it's the other way around in Denmark. Everybody puts their kids in daycare, and if you want to do homeschooling or staying home, I think it's a bit harder. It's just the norm. Everybody does it. It's quite affordable, I think. I actually looked it up because I knew you would ask.
This is a quiz.
Yes. And also because my conversion to euro is just horrible. So I've been doing the math from 0 to 2 years old. That's 500 euros a month. And kindergarten is 300 euros a month. But we also get every 3 months, we get pay from the government, child support it's probably called. So we get every 3 months, we get for the 0 to 2 year old, we get almost 700 euros. And if you have problem, if you're a single parent, if you're not having enough money, you can get a smaller amount of money to pay to the daycare.
And what age do they start school? And when they start school, is that free?
School is free. They start when they're around 6 years old.
And did your children's experience of school align with your experience of school? Are they going to the same school you went to?
They go to the same school as my husband did, or the oldest one. The youngest is still too young. But the oldest is going to the same school as my husband. But a lot has changed since we were kids. It's really nice because the school is placed right beside the kindergarten. So picking one child and leaving the other, it's just easy. And they go to school from, well, he's only in 2nd grade. So he goes to school from 8 to 1 o'clock, I think. It is. And then there is this after school care that you can choose to have. Most kids go to after school, and we pay, I don't know, 200 euros per month for that. But then they just go out and play with all their friends, and they have all these interesting things they're doing. They have Pokemon tournaments, or yeah, I don't know what they're doing. A lot of things. It seems like fun. He doesn't want to come home.
And is that till what? Like you can pick them up until around 6 o'clock?
5.
5?
Yeah. Normal workday in this area is from, actually a lot of people are starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, so they're off at 3. So if they come home at 4, there are no kids in the kindergarten.
Wow, you guys start early.
It's because where we live now, there are a lot of people working in the factories, and they start early. When we lived in Copenhagen, it was a bit later. People were office workers, so they worked from 9 to 5. So the kindergarten was open later in the evening, but also open a little later in the morning.
That's quite nice that they organize it around what people need rather than what the standard is.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, I think the kindergarten where my youngest is right now, you can buy if you want to pick up late, 5:30 or 6 o'clock, I think it is, but they have 0. So you have the option, but no one wants it.
Yeah. So they're organizing the hours around the community, which is nice.
Yeah.
It means that they're reflecting what everybody needs.
Yeah.
What do you need to provide for the school? Do they get fed while they're there? Do you have to send food with them?
We have to send food. It's horrible.
Oh no!
They pack lunches.
Denmark is no longer perfect.
No, daycare and kindergarten, everything is, they get food there. They have the nicest kitchen and the nicest kitchen lady who makes the best food, and the kids love it and get to help and everything. But when they start school, you have to pack the lunches.
And do they eat what you send?
No. Yes, sometimes. My oldest is really picky, so no.
Okay.
Usually it's my husband who makes the packed lunches, because I get all stressed and will he eat it, and he's just packing what the kid wants, and he doesn't mind eating the same thing 3 weeks in a row. That's what he wants. And
great. You know what? If he eats it, cool.
Yeah.
You said you work with your mom. So when the kids are sick, is there any government support? Do you get paid if you take a day off, or do you just juggle it around your mom's schedule?
We have first day the child's first sick day is paid, and I think some jobs also the second. And I actually heard that you can also get grandparents can have a first day off with the kids, which is really nice. It's not all jobs, but some jobs. And because as a vet, you're quite set in your hours. You have to be at the clinic from 8 to whatever. So that's a bit hard to be flexible. But my husband has a very flexible job. He can work on the computer. So we make it work. We take a day off once in a while, but often we just make it work.
Yeah.
Because one day is not enough for most sick kids.
They're never sick for one day.
No.
The first day is just the warning.
Yeah.
Do they spend a lot of time outside at school and at kindergarten?
Yes. They have to go outside every day. All recesses in the school, they have to go out, and in the after school care, they also have to be out for at least an hour. And because the grown-ups are making all sort of fun things outside, they usually are a lot outside. And in the kindergarten, they also have to go outside every day, except if it's really cold and rainy, they get to stay inside.
Do they sleep outside?
Yes, except when it's freezing.
Yeah.
But yes, they do sleep outside. They go in the prams and then they go outside.
We have this, we think it's a Danish phrase. I don't know if it is or not, but they say there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Danish, but we use it a lot.
So do you have to send the kids to school with 4 different layers of clothing every day? Do they have those special suits they put on?
No, we have to send them with the clothes, but they have this place where we can put it. So we usually on Monday, we come with all the clean clothes and hang it. And then they tell the kids what to wear. They have these little pictograms, little pictures, and that they hang. And then the kids know exactly what to wear. And then they try to put it on by themselves with assistance.
Yeah. Are kids encouraged to be quite independent in Denmark?
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
In
We
France,
want
they
them.
teach them this great technique when they're 3. As soon as they start wearing coats to school, this technique, they put the coat on the floor upside down, and then they put
Yeah,
their arms in and flip it over their head. Oh, it's so
exactly.
cute.
And
Some,
sometimes it can take a long time to come home. When my youngest were 2 years old and wanted to put on the skiing suit thing, and it took hours, but he wanted to do it because he could do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah, and the big kids in the kindergarten are really good at helping the smaller kids. So they're really trying to help them to be independent and help each other instead of the grown-ups having to do it all.
Oh, that's nice. You
Yeah.
guys have this phrase. What is it? Junter something? Junterlurgen, Junterlagen, where everyone is equal and everyone helps each other?
Oh yeah, Jandelon. Yeah,
Okay, I was
it's not as
close.
nice as it sounds.
Is
It's
it not?
something about you're not better than anyone. But I like the positive way, then everybody is equal. But it is actually you're not better than anyone else. We're trying to make it more positive because it's not nice to tell people that they're not worth more than anyone. It's better to tell everybody that they're worth something. So we're trying to update it a little.
Yeah, 2024 version.
Yeah, exactly.
Do kids do lots of activities over there, like after school activities?
Yes, you can go to everything: swimming, handball, football, golf, chess. Yeah, all sorts of things. And it's quite common that they go to at least 1, 2, or 3 things.
Okay, so everybody's kind of signing up for a couple.
Yeah.
What time do they do those activities? Is that weekends or is that after school?
Usually it's in the evenings, depending on what it is. It's, well, we pick the kids up around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then maybe it's 5 or 6 in the evening, depending on what it is. And then sometimes on the weekends, because if you're playing football outside, in the wintertime, you cannot do it in the evening because it's pitch dark. So you have to do it on the weekends. But usually it's during the week, so the weekends are for other things.
How far up is your village? Are you 6 months of constant sunlight, 6 months of constant
No,
darkness?
no,
Okay,
no.
good.
Well, now it's the sun is rising around 6:30, I think, and then it sets around 7 in the evening. So yeah,
So pretty standard
yeah.
at this time of year.
Paris is a little more, so, but it's it's sort of the same thing.
And we just change times
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Do you have a car and are you constantly driving?
Yes, we have a car, and depending on where we're going. When you live in Copenhagen, yes, we had a car because I was working outside of Copenhagen, but we drove by bike everywhere. And when we moved to Bjerringbro, we chose to do the same thing. My husband is working, well, it takes almost an hour by car, and it would take a little less than 2 hours by train and bus. So he takes the car every day. But Bjerringbro is so small, I can bike everywhere. So we have this cargo bike that I'm driving around with kids and all their stuff, and I can put their friends in as well. So a lot of people around here have 2 cars, and we chose not to have that because you can literally bike everywhere.
And
Just
if
have
the
to dress
school-
for the weather.
Yes, you have to dress for the weather. And if the school and the kindergarten are next to each other as well, that makes it slightly easier.
Yeah. And the big one, he's big enough to go home by himself. We have this app where when he checks out, I get a notification, so I know he's on his way, and then I start looking, and then 10, 15 minutes later, he was here. And that's really nice because he feels so big that he can go home by himself.
I can imagine. Oh, do you remember that age when you could do something by yourself and it was such a good feeling?
Yeah, you felt like I'm a grown up now.
Yeah, having a bike was just absolute freedom.
Yeah.
What do you do for the holidays? How much time do you get off for holidays from work? And do you tend to travel? Are there holiday programs for the kids? Do they go to their grandparents?
We get, I think it's 6 weeks of paid vacation per year. And then, of course, all the official holidays are off. So it's usually 3 weeks in the summertime, and then 1 in the spring and 1 in the fall, and then during Christmas. The kids have, I think my oldest has 7 weeks of summer holidays. The after school care is there all summer. They also always make a lot of fun activities. So usually he wants to go, and be there for a week or two. And then we plan, so, well, when my parents are having holidays, they have the kids because they want to. They love spending time together. And yeah, we make it work.
Yeah.
But there are also these summer camps and everything, but that's usually for a bit older children than ours.
But there's resources available.
Yeah, there is. You're not completely by yourself. We usually have to have holidays during July because the place where we live now, a lot of people are working in the same factory. So when they traditionally had closed during the summertime, they don't anymore, but they did. So everybody is having holidays there. So there are no kids in school or kindergarten. So they close as well. You can get care, but it has to be maybe somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's always possible to get them to go to a kindergarten with a known grown-up, but maybe the kindergarten is 20 minutes that way.
Yeah, they do that here. They call it regroupement. They take all the kids left over and put them all together.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But we don't want that, so we plan our holidays around.
Yeah, you want to take summer holidays together. What language do you speak with the kids?
Yeah, we speak Danish. But it's really funny because my oldest, they start having English in first grade. So he's practicing English a lot. And that's really funny because he doesn't speak English. He knows words. But then he just takes the Danish words and make them sound English. And then he's just, I'm speaking English, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, you are.
My kids do that with French. Just put an Australian accent on it. Yep, cool, good.
Yeah, that's totally English. But it's really nice they start that early because at that age, they just take everything in.
Do most people in Denmark speak English?
Yes.
And you can also, you can understand Swedish?
Yes, and Norwegian.
And Norwegian, not Finnish. Finnish is different, right?
Finnish is completely different. No one understands Finnish except for themselves, I think. But Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish is very similar, depending on where we're from. And then they get to choose, I think, later if they want French or German in school. I had both. So I can manage in both languages as well. So because no one speaks Danish, so we have to learn something.
So you can still speak in French and German? I
can manage, yeah.
Gosh, we did Japanese. I can count to 10. Ooh. That's it. Yeah, it didn't stick, unfortunately.
I think some schools are offering Chinese as well, but not here. But I think they are.
What's the split on housework in your family?
Well, I only work 25 hours a week, so I do most, but my husband is doing a lot as well. He's the one in the morning getting the packed lunches ready and dropping off. And yeah, the cleaning is mainly me because I'm home. But I think we're really good at splitting. Yeah. I think that's the norm for parents in Denmark, pretty good at splitting.
Oh, housework. It's the norm in my household. I've realized if you don't do it, they will. It's perfect.
Oh, that's good. I'll try that one.
Oh yeah, my husband does the laundry, the dishwasher,
yeah,
the mornings. In fact, I cook. That's it. I cook well, and that's and the groceries. That's my contribution.
Nice. I'm not allowed to load the dishwasher. I'm not doing the right way.
You know what? That's a win.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's so funny. There was some Instagram meme going around. In every couple, there's someone who loads the dishwasher like a chaos agent and someone who loads the dishwasher like a Danish architect.
Yeah, I'm the chaos one.
Yeah, I'm the chaos agent too. As long as it doesn't stop the thing from spinning, it's fine.
Exactly. It'll be fun.
Yeah. What's the split on parenting? Are you guys more together as a team or you take turns being in charge?
I think we're a team, but we also are really good at trying to let the other one have time off because you need that. My youngest was born during COVID, so I was home all the time, all alone. So I didn't have anywhere to go. So my husband is like, "No, I'm taking the kid. Now you're going outside.
Go and see the sunshine for a bit."
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to get to do something for ourselves once in a while, but we're doing almost everything together for the parenting things. All the did you do your homework? All that.
What's bedtime generally?
For our kids is later than most kids. They don't need that much sleep. Usually we try to put them to bed at 8 o'clock, and they won't sleep until 9:30, which is annoying. But a lot of our friends, they have kids that go to bed at 7 and if they don't get to sleep at 7, they're impossible, which is, I don't get how you don't get an evening with your kids. I don't get it.
Yeah, 7.
That's early.
7 is early. We're sitting down for dinner at 7. What time do you guys have dinner?
Well, we try to, it depends on what after school things he's going to, but usually it's 6:30.
And how do your kids eat? Are they involved in the grocery shopping and the cooking?
Yes, my oldest chose to be a vegetarian when he was 4 years old. We're not vegetarian, so he's really scared that someone hides meat in his food. So he wants to ask about everything, but he doesn't want to cook with me. He cooks with my mom. Every month they have this, they call it Grandma's Day, and he goes to her house and they go grocery shopping, and he gets to choose what they're cooking, and then they're cooking for the entire family, and he's very proud. The youngest loves to help, so he has his little knife and standing and cutting everything. So they want to be involved. We try to cook one meal, and if there's meat in it, we keep it separate. So we try to eat the same things.
Do your kids do chores? Does your eldest kid do chores?
Yes. Not voluntarily, but yes, he does. He has to clean the table after dinner, and he is always trying to coax his little brother into doing it for him. He'd be faster than you. And then he's just standing there watching his little brother run back and forth, moving plates and everything.
Oh, yeah, I used to do that. Quick, I'll time you. Let's see how quickly you can do it.
Exactly. It's nice being the big one.
What does a typical weekend look like?
That's a very good question, because we don't have typical weekends. We usually have a plan of doing something with someone. It can be going to, my parents have this summer house holiday home, which we go to as often as we can. And then they have a play date, or we try to spend time with just being us at home once in a while, trying to have one day where we don't have plans so we can get to stay home once in a while. But it's not always happening. We're really good at making plans about doing everything else. Usually we try to go somewhere with the kids. We go to the zoo, or I don't know, going visiting the grandparents because they want to. And as soon as we don't have anything to do, my husband is like, shouldn't we do all these things? And the kids are like, can I go to ask if he's home? Can I play with him? And I'm right here.
Do the kids have any friends who live nearby that they can just kind of pop over and see?
My oldest best friend is living just a few houses away from us, and another of his schoolmates is living just over there. It takes 3 minutes to go between them, so they run back and forth all the time, and that's nice.
How does society view kids in Denmark? Are kids welcome everywhere? Do you have to go to kid-only places? Are people helpful?
Yes, people are really helpful, because we are this close people that we don't want to talk to everybody, but they're always really nice and helping. Kids are welcome almost anywhere. I wouldn't bring them to Noma, but
it's closing anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But also, if you take them almost any restaurant that I've been to where I've brought my kids, they're always really nice and helpful. And can we just have a bowl of spaghetti? Yes, of course. And they're really nice. So most people are really friendly and accepting kids if the kids behave. I mean, if they are running around screaming, it's okay that people look a little annoyed.
Being a mum can be isolating. What local communities or support networks do you have around you?
The first year when you're on maternity leave, the health nurse organizes this moms group. If you want to, they say, hey, we are making this moms group, and we have 5 or 6 women who gave birth around the same time, and then they arrange for us to meet. And if you want to, you can continue to do that, and if you don't want to, then you don't have to. I didn't do that with my second because of COVID, but with my first one, we had this really wonderful moms group. The kids were born within 2 weeks of each other, and it was all of us was the first kid, so we had a lot of things in common, where we were sitting there completely sleep deprived and crying to each other. It's really nice.
Yeah, I can picture that. And are you still in touch with any of those women?
Not really, not anymore, because a lot of us moved away from Copenhagen. So things just, disappear.
Is there any government support? Well, we know there's government support for families. What is the government support for families in Denmark?
Apart from the free schooling.
Schooling, the free healthcare, the free
school, free healthcare. When they get older, they can go to university for free. Actually, we get paid to go to university. We get an allowance each month.
Oh, I remember the international students in Australia from Scandinavia telling me about this, and I was shocked.
People don't believe us, but we do. So apart from that, we get this monthly, no, not monthly, but 3 monthly child support money from the government. You get more when they're younger, and you get a little less when they're getting older. But until they're 17, you actually get a little help. So that's nice.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. It feels like people are very supportive of families and having kids in Denmark.
Yeah, I think so, yes. There are always people complaining, and we're really good at complaining in Denmark. It's one of our national sports.
Really?
Yes, we're always not satisfied with what is happening. But honestly, I think we're doing quite well in Denmark.
Yeah, we're pretty good at complaining in France as well.
But the thing is, if someone says that Denmark is not the perfect place, then we also get a little upset. So it's really crazy. We can tell it's not right, but you cannot.
Yeah, well, I think it sounds pretty perfect, especially if you want to have kids.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd change at a policy level?
Not in general, no. There are always small things that you want to change, but in general, I think it's fine. I'm pretty satisfied.
What are your favorite traditions in Denmark?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. We're really good at this hygge. Yeah, where we just, the coziness. Yeah, it's very famous.
You pronounce it like huggy.
Yeah, hygge.
Hygge.
Hygge. Very good. You can learn Danish. So we try to do a lot of hyggely things around everything. We eat a lot of food when we're together, and it's always the same things. Christmas is one of my favorite things, because Christmas is just wonderful, and it's something nice to have when it's cold and dark and raining, because we don't get that much snow, so we usually just have rain. So I love Christmas, but now we just well, it was just Easter, and Easter is just wonderful as well, because it's springtime and we get together with the family and we eat the same as we always do, a lot of pork and a lot of fish and chocolate. Yeah, and we're really, when we have tradition in Denmark, it's usually something with food, alcohol, and getting together. And what's not to like?
Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay. My next question, is it easy to make friends? Have you got any mom friends? But I think we kind of discussed that. Do you have any mom friends?
Yes, but they were friends before we became moms. I don't have any new mom friends, but maybe I will later. You never know.
Okay, so no one's really chatting at the school gates.
Yeah, we always chat, and it's fine, but it's very superficial. You don't get to be friends because it takes some time to become friends.
Yeah, like France. What do you love most about being a mom in Denmark?
That it's easy. It's always hard being a mom. It's the same challenges everywhere, but we have a lot of concerns that we don't have to think about. I don't have to choose which child I have to put through college. I know that if my child gets sick, someone will take care. And that's very nice. So one of my favorite things is that it's very secure. It feels safe. Someone will help us. If I lose my job, I will get some money. It's just, yeah, it feels really secure.
So the safety net is working.
It is, yeah. And it's not on a family level, it's on government level. I feel really safe. Someone will help me even if my family cannot do that.
What is your biggest fear raising kids in Denmark?
It's going to sound really spoiled, but I think maybe it's almost too easy. I think it's, as a mom, I have to teach my kids that the way they live is just very privileged, not because their parents are more privileged than ever other parent in Denmark. It's because the Danish society is really privileged. There are places where they don't live like that. So I think it's not really a fear. but it's a job I have to do as a mom. I have to show them that they're lucky, because otherwise they will be really spoiled and having a hard time seeing how lucky they are. I mean, I'm happy that I live here, I'm lucky and everything, but it's almost too spoiled.
Yeah, but also maybe a really good scaffolding framework for other countries to look towards.
As I said, Danish people believe we have solved the mystery of how to make a society. So yeah, I agree on that one. And then when we're together, we keep complaining about the government and they're not doing that right, and that's horrible, and blah blah blah. But yeah.
Yeah. I think you'd have to look pretty hard to complain about something in Denmark. Yep. So my last question is, do you have any funny animal noises that don't sound the same as I would assume?
Yeah, Danish is a crazy language. It's horrible. I think one of my favorite awful things is when the lion or any other animal goes roar, it says brøl.
It says what?
Brøl.
That's not scary at all.
Brøl. I mean, how scary is that? So yeah.
That's very good. I like that. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That's been great.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Well, thank you so much. That's been really fun. And if you're ever coming to Paris, look me up.
I will come to Paris. We lived there.
Oh, you lived in Paris? You left that out.
Oh, yeah, we did. My husband and I, we did, or actually he did an exchange, and then I did something at the university.
So your French is probably better than mine.
No, I don't think so. You live there.
Yeah, living here and communicating here are two very different things.
I know, but you've probably lived there for longer than I have, so.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Speak to you later.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please rate, review, and subscribe, which will help other people find us. See you next week.